Because one thing I know, talking to authors, is that almost no author out there loves marketing their books. It kind of feels like a chore, right? So at Written Word, we're all about making marketing products that work, right? So we want to make sure they're effective, but we also want to make sure they're easy for authors to use and something that the author can go to our website, schedule their promo, and be done in about 20 minutes or so. And then they can get back to the things that are less painful for them. So that's a big focus for us.
Welcome to the Stark Reflections on Writing and Publishing podcast. There has never been a better time for writers. More information, options, and opportunities are available to you, but navigating these requires insight. Join Mark Leslie Lefebvre as he draws upon more than a quarter century of experience as a writer, a bookseller, and a trusted book industry consultant to explore and reflect on the writing and publishing landscape to help you make informed choices on your writer journey.
Hello, Reflectives, and welcome to episode 368 of the Stark Reflections podcast. This is your host, Mark Leslie Lefebvre. In today's episode, I have an interview with Clayton Noblit from Written Word Media. Now, Clayton is the senior marketing manager at Written Word Media, and he's passionate about helping authors find their readers and finding ways to sell more books. And that becomes very clear in the interview that you're going to hear later in this episode. But first, let's roll a bumper and hear from this episode's sponsor.
Ready to elevate your writing career? Join the Cruising Writers Group Sailing the Caribbean from Galveston on February 22nd to March 1st, 2025. This time, we're focused on indie authors, with special guests Mark Leslie and Aaron Wright leading a deep dive into the world of self-publishing. You'll come away with invaluable insights, but also great memories as you connect with other writers and explore charming ports of call in Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, Mexico, and Cozumel. Visit cruisingwriters.com to book your spot today.
That's right, this podcast is sponsored by Cruising Writers, and I am so looking forward to the awesome experience that we're all going to have over at Cruising Writers. And I've already heard from a couple of readers from this podcast, and you all know who you are, about the fact that they're going to be on the cruise. So I look forward to hanging out with you there. That'll be so much fun. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things about the indie publishing community, about writing in general. Again, just an amazing experience, and I'm really lucky that I get to go there. I'm also really lucky, and I'm very fortunate for the amazing supporters that I have who support this podcast. The folks who support me over at Patreon at patreon.com/Stark Reflections, as well as to the folks who are buying me coffees over at buymeacoffee/Mark Leslie. And just a shout out to some new Buy Me a Coffee folks who slid some caffeinated beverages my way over there recently. So thank you to Kiri Herath. Appreciate that. And Nikki Gerlain, who basically bought me 4 or 5 years worth of coffees. I'm going to be up all night. I'm going to be up all night thanking you, Nikki, for your incredible generosity. And I mentioned this earlier, but I think I figured out a way for the special content that I am releasing in Patreon, particularly the audio content, in making that available to folks via other means like Buy Me a Coffee. You know, like I can probably drop the RSS link there, but I don't want there to be an issue with people having to log into Patreon stuff, especially I know Nikki, for example, is somebody who was a regular patron of the podcast, but wasn't a fan of the monthly dropping money every month because it gets out of hand. I definitely know that experience just from the various streaming services that I have. But I am looking at, I have a solution. I still need to test it out in terms of getting that audio feed in a different format so people can easily access that, because I want my patrons and I want those who are buying me a coffee to benefit from that as well. I want to be able to give to that community as well. So thank you all for your support of the podcast. It does mean so much to me because it is a significant amount of work. I love doing it. And I'm not going to stop doing it, but I do appreciate people throwing those tips my way. Very, very much appreciated. If only the management here at Stark Publishing would pay me more. But anyways, it's a tip joke, you see, about. But anyways, speaking of which, there's an interesting movement within independent breweries. There's two here in the Kitchener-Waterloo area that I'm really impressed with. TWB, Together We're Better, which is sort of it's owned by a collective. And I wish I'd gotten in on that. I wish I'd known about it to get in on it as an investor. But it's basically run by a whole bunch of owners, and they do some great live music events there. And they're a living wage. They're a living wage business, so they don't allow tips, which is kind of cool, meaning that their employees are all getting paid enough so that they don't need that. And the same thing with Counterpoint Brewing, and I am collaborating with them. I'll talk a little bit about that in my personal update. But Counterpoint Brewing as well has they're a living wage retailer, I guess, a brewery. And again, the employees earn enough that they don't have to live on their tips, which I think is really cool. Now, I still feel obligated to want to tip people. So Counterpoint has a really cool jar there where they actually have a team building. It's a team building fund, and they do so many community events. I'm positive that they put a lot of that money back into their community events. But anyway, so that's what this is about. It's a community, and I love you guys, and I want to say thank you so much. So let's roll bumper and let's go with personal update, shall we? So as I gear up for the fall release of the 20th anniversary of One Hand Screaming, 20 Haunting Years, I'm my very first published book. I'm kind of pumped. I'm kind of excited, and I'm still putting together the Kickstarter. So one of the things, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. One of the elements I was thinking, I was looking at getting a tattoo in if I reach a certain level of the Kickstarter. And one of the rewards or one of the packages people can purchase, because there's going to be people who don't want to purchase a horror book. They're not interested. So I'm going to have options for people who don't like horror but want to support it. Like potentially maybe some of my listeners like, hey, yeah, I want to support Mark. I'm going to throw $5 his way. So there's things that you can get without having to worry about having to get a horror book. But having a say in my tattoo. So the whole idea is that if you get into that and select that as an add-on, that I will include you in voting what tattoo I'm going to get. Now, it's not going to be an infinite list of things, but I'm going to have some choices, and I'm not sure what I want to do. It's like, hey, why don't you guys help me decide, and you can vote for that. So that I think it might be fun. You tell me, would that be fun? I don't know. Anyways, that's one of the things I'm doing. So again, I just ordered a bunch of swag. I just ordered 500 coasters, double-sided coasters. One side of the coaster has, the cover art, or adapted cover art that my cover designer did specifically for a coaster. I gave him the dimensions. Also has my website as well, with One Hand Screaming. And then the flip side is the brewery. So it's got the Counterpoint Brewing, Stark Publishing, and then it has a QR code where that special short story. So people will be able to read that for free, a story I wrote specifically for the beer. And that'll also be on the beer logo. I gave that beer logo art over to Graham at Counterpoint, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm now in the midst of reaching out to bookstores and libraries for my fall tour, so that's a significant amount of work. And I was doing a talk at the Hamilton Public Library last night, which is Wednesday, June 26th, and when the librarian came in, she's like, oh, you're Mark Leslie, the author of Haunted Hamilton. I'm like, yay, you remember me. But anyways, I think she saw the skeleton, and that's how she knew who it was. But anyways, because I think I may have had hair back then when I was doing stuff for that book back then. But she had mentioned, because I had said, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to you guys. I'm doing a fall tour. I'd love to be able to come back to my old home library that was in the neighborhood I lived for so long in Hamilton. And she said, yeah, reach out to us now, because we're planning our fall events now. So again, word to the wise for writers, it's June, it's the end of June, but fall events. So September, October, November, they're planning now, and it's very similar for bookstores. So word to the wise, if you're doing the planning for that. It doesn't mean they're not going to be able to do it like a month in advance, but usually 2 or 3 months is a really a good way to get those things done. So I'll be doing that. But speaking of getting things done, so I've reached out to a number of folks I know and respect in the industry to see if I could get some review blurbs. And Jonathan Maybury, awesome man that he is, purveyor of fine martinis and the most amazing Hawaiian shirt collection you will ever see. I think he has 326. And again, Jonathan and I keep missing syncing up with each other, but he has agreed to come on the podcast. It's just a matter of time. He's such a fascinating guy. So many things we can talk about. I could probably have him on half a dozen times, and we'd never cover the same area twice. But anyways, Jonathan, I gave him an early digital arc of the book, and here's what he sent back to me. One Hand Screaming is a wonderfully weird gallop through nightmare country. Dark, often hilarious, twisted, and filled with magic. Loved every single story. Jonathan Maybury, New York Times bestselling author of Necrotech and The Dragon in Winter. And when that came in, I nearly fell out of my chair. I was so thrilled because it's basically, okay, one, I've got the quote that's going right underneath my name on the front cover. And that's so exciting. Well, I mean, it's going to be part of that quote is going on the front cover, and then the full quote will go on the back cover. So again, pretty pumped, pretty stoked, pretty excited. I got to get a thesaurus to figure out other things that I am. But anyways, I'm honored that Jonathan read the book. I didn't think he would have time. And that he gave me such a great blurb. And I think he called me very disturbed in the comment back and forth, which was like, yes, if I can disturb somebody of that caliber, that's amazing, because he is an amazing writer. I've probably only read about 6 or 7 of his books. I still have a number of his to get through. But I mean, I remember meeting him for the first time at Book Expo America years and years ago. This was when he had a trilogy of books out set at Halloween, and of course I'm drawing a blank on the name of them, but I remember being so stoked that I could get his autograph and meet him. And he was the nicest person, and has continued to be a really amazing guy. Anyway, so that is it for my personal update. Why don't you and I, dear listener, why don't we join forces and walk together? We'll skip together even across this bumper that's going to play. And on the other side of the bumper, you'll find, Mark from a few months ago and Clayton Noblit from Written Word Media from a few months ago, and the conversation that we had, talking all about the great things that Clayton and the folks at Written Word Media have been up to make our lives with marketing and promoting books so much better. Hey, Clayton, welcome to the Stark Reflections podcast.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you on the podcast. It's been a while since we've had Written Word Media on the Stark Reflections podcast. So before we get into some of the stuff we want to chat about, a little bit of a background on Written Word Media. What is it, and who is Clayton Noblit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, real quick, Written Word Media, we are a book marketing company. And so we help authors sell more books. We do that through 2 primary ways. One is what we call email promo, which is where authors can pay us to email links to buy their books out to hundreds of thousands of readers. And on the day that email promo runs, the author generally sees a big spike in sales or downloads on that day.
Okay.
And then we also run Facebook and Amazon ad campaigns for authors. So yeah, we're all about book marketing and trying to help authors sell more books. I'm a marketer. I'm not an author, so I like to say that up front.
Yeah.
I am a big reader. We were one of those families that didn't have TV growing up. So we would go to the library and come out with 4 grocery bags full of books, and everybody be staring at us.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity with Written Word came up, I was like, oh, this is a perfect fit for me. I love authors, and working with authors has been a fantastic thing as well. So yeah, we're all about making marketing easier for authors, because the one thing I know talking to authors is that almost no author out there loves marketing their books. It kind of feels like a chore, right?
Right.
Yeah. So at Written Word, we're all about making marketing products that work, right? So we want to make sure they're effective, but we also want to make sure they're easy for authors to use, and something that the author can go to our website, schedule their promo, and be done in about 20 minutes or so. And then they can get back to the things that are less painful for them. So that's a big focus for us.
I love that. I love that you come from a marketing background as a book lover. No, and that's how those two things merged. So so authors may hear written word media and go, huh? But I'm sure that there's brands that written word media supports and promotes and uses and has leveraged that authors may be familiar with. How do the two tie
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, absolutely. So Written Word Media is kind of the author-facing brand, but underneath that we have brands like Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, Red Feather Romance, New in Books, and Audio Thicket. So
Wow.
authors may have heard of those, and so you can run an email promo with one of those brands. And then we've also partnered with other promo sites, eReader News Today, Book Barbarian, just to name a few.
Yeah, so let's get into that because when I first, I mean, in the olden days when I had to walk to school both ways uphill, the first brands were Free Booksy and Bargain Booksy, and then I think Red Feather Romance. But then now you have this partnership with a few different brands, and so how does that partnership leverage it? Because I mean, when I go back to it, I think, okay, I go in, I've got my book, I've got my catalog, so they're already pre-listed, my titles, and then I can pick a promotion and run it. But now I have the choice of doing a really, I think something that is recommended to authors is stacking my promos by not just running, if I have a 99-cent book deal, not just running a Bargain Booksy, but I now have the opportunity to add some other promotions while I'm there, saving me even more time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So promo stacking is a marketing strategy that authors came up with, kind of in the early days of gaming the Amazon algorithm. And basically, it's the practice of running multiple marketing efforts in a short period of time. And,
Okay.
and the benefit of this is it tends to have a greater increase in your rank on retailers like Amazon, Apple, Kobo. And then you get all the sales from the marketing you're doing. Then hopefully you get even more sales because more people see your book closer to the top of the charts. So
Right.
promo stacking is something we knew authors were doing. They were coming to Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, scheduling a promo with our brands. Then they would go to another promo site and schedule a promo there. So that this tactic really works since authors were doing this almost every time they would run an email promo. The one drawback was that it's very time consuming and you don't always know when your promos are going to run. So some promo sites out there don't have the capability to tell you when exactly a promo will run when you
Right.
try to schedule it, which is a real difficult thing for the author if the author is going to be discounting their book for a limited time to run the promo.
Right.
So the process of setting up a promo stack could take a number of hours over the course of 1 to 2 weeks to actually get everything set up, and that's a lot of work. And so last year we had the idea of, what if we worked with other promo sites and brought everything that authors were already using together in one place. And so authors could schedule an entire promo stack in the time it used to take them to schedule just one promo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's been really good. We've partnered with, there's so many now. So we have Hello Books, eReader IQ, The Fussy Librarian, eReader News Today, Red Roses Romance, and Book Barbarian. We've got another one coming very soon as well.
Wow.
So these are all different promo sites that authors were using already. And so we've brought them all together on our platform and partnered with other promo sites to make it much easier for authors to do this. And there's no increase in the cost is also an important note.
Yeah.
So it's just to make authors' lives easier, and we've been getting great feedback on it.
So I just want to remind authors who are thinking about this. So when I think about in the dark ages, the early days, I go to Bargain Booksy, I go to writtenwordmedia.com, I'd schedule my Bargain Booksy, and then I would have to go to another site, Book Barbarian, eReader News Today, log in there if they have an account or whatever, then pick dates, et cetera, et cetera. And this would be the equivalent of, okay, I need to get some shopping done. I need to pick up a few things. I need to drive all the way across town to the store, and then I got to get my car and go all the way to the other, et cetera. The written word media has almost become a mall where I can just go in and walk. While I'm here, I'm just going to go here, 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 and cut my time, like in fifths or whatever the case may be. So let's just get into the logistics for anyone who's still confused. Well, what is stacking? Does that mean that on May 15th, I have a Bargain Booksy and an eReader News Today and a Book Barbarian and et cetera. I do them all on one same day. Do I do them across a period of time? Do I stagger? What are the strategies that authors are using?
Yeah, so typically the best way to keep your rank up for a more extended period of time is to spread out the promos over the course of 3 to 5 days. And
Okay.
so a lot of our promo stacks are for that time frame.
Okay.
So that's the great thing about the platform we have right now. It's very easy to filter. So if you go to our website and click on promo stacks, you'll be able to select the genre that your book is in. If your
Okay.
book is free or 99 cents for the time period of the promo stack, and then how long you want the promo stack to be. So we have some smaller ones for a single day, and then the author might do some of their own marketing on the other days of their stack. Then we have 3 day stacks and 5 day stacks. And when you
Okay.
click on the stack, you'll see all of the promos and which day they will run. And so before you pay us anything, before you confirm anything, you'll know exactly what you're getting and when. And we've designed the promo stacks to get the best results possible by spreading out the promos over that 3 to 5 day period.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, because I think a lot of the retailers, not just Amazon, but a lot of the retailers reward consistency. So I like to say you don't want to be Milli Vanilli or Rick Astley. You want to be the Rolling Stones. Right? You want
Yep.
to have a long series, not one spike and then you're done. It's like this long-term thing, because that's usually when the ranking tends to stay higher for longer. And obviously more customers are lucky enough to find you and your book.
Yeah, and we also include in some of the stacks a Facebook ad campaign as well that runs for the period of the stack. So you're getting more exposure on other platforms too, outside of the email promos. So that's been we've gotten great feedback on it so far from authors, both in terms of the results and how many readers they're able to reach running a promo stack. I think one of our romance stacks has an audience of over 1 million readers.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was a milestone we were really happy to get to. Hopefully, we'll be able to get there soon with other genres as well,
Yeah.
because that's the sort of reach that authors are really looking for. And I think with our platform, it's really easy to do. It takes you about 15 minutes to schedule your promo stack, and then you're done. You just have to make sure your book is the right price during the promo stack.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no other work for the author. And I know, I was just at the Future Publishing Conference in New Orleans. And no one has enough time. No, there are not enough hours in the day for authors to do everything they feel that they need to do, that they want to do. So that the time savings has just been such a good thing as well.
Oh yeah. And so I want to dig into something. So something that I'm what I'm really, really good at is I'm really good at burning money in Facebook ads, because I suck at it. I'm horrible. I've tried the courses, I've tried to follow what people are doing. There are things I'm not good at.
Yeah,
I'm not good
good to
at growing
recognize
hair,
these things.
right? So
Yeah.
that at least not on the top of my head, anyways. But so what I'm curious about is, okay, so how would somebody like me who knows nothing about Facebook ads or tried and failed miserably, how would somebody like me take advantage of what you like? What do you offer, and how can I take advantage of that?
Yeah, yeah. So once again, like so many of our products, our Facebook ads were built from feedback from authors and authors telling us what they need help with, right? And basically, what we were hearing from authors was a lot of people like you who maybe have tried Facebook ads and didn't have a lot of success, or maybe they had a little bit of success, but it was like pulling teeth. It was so painful, right?
Mm,
And so our Facebook ad campaigns are completely hands off for the author. So if you go to writtenwordmedia.com, you can click on Reader Reach Ads. That's our Facebook and Amazon ad campaign brand. And you can schedule your ad campaign. And they run 5 or 10 days, whichever length you pick.
yep.
And the author doesn't have to do anything other than give us the name of their book and the link to Amazon, so we know which book we're promoting. And then
Right.
our team handles everything else. So we write the copy for the ads, we make the ad images, we do the scheduling, we do the
Oh, wow.
targeting, and we do the optimization during the ad campaign as well. And so the
Wow.
author never has to create a Facebook ads account. They don't have to mess with any of that, because we know that is not what authors want to be doing. And if you are
Right.
one of those authors that enjoys running ads, then absolutely do them on your own, right? But we tried to make a product for the people that really don't want to be messing with that. They don't have the time, or
Wow.
they just really don't want to be doing it. So yeah, once again, the focus is on making it easy for authors and
Right.
hopefully a pain-free, hands-off experience.
Cool.
So people
Cool.
like me who confession here, I love running Facebook ads. That's I spend a lot of my day doing that. I like to think I'm pretty good at it, and so we're able to take
Right.
that expertise to help authors out.
That's fantastic. So do I need to, if I wanted to just do a Facebook ad through Written Word Media, or My book has not been discounted. It's at, full price of $5, which is still a steal, of course.
Yeah.
Is that something that authors are doing or able to do?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So for our promo stacks, the book must be free or 99 cents.
Right.
For the Facebook ads, it can be any price, but
Okay.
4.99 or below does tend to perform better.
Right.
And you can also run individual email promos with us at a higher price. So for example, Bargain Booksy, the books can be 4.99 or below.
Okay.
Yeah, you just can't run a full promo stack just because some of our partners are only
Right.
99
Yeah,
cents.
so the stack has to take into consideration all the fact. I get that, working with Draft to Digital, you have to take the
Yeah,
lowest common denominator when you're sending everything out. Okay.
exactly. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get that. Okay. So that is really cool. But then there's another thing that you guys introduced, and it was maybe a year or two ago, and I've lost track. But you now have memberships because it's like a loyalty program practically for people like me who regularly employ your services to
Yeah.
help us save money, and we get access to stuff early, right?
Yes, that's correct. So yeah, Mark, you are one of our lovely members. And so I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but once again, this is another thing that we've done based on feedback from authors.
Right.
So, we're blessed that our products really do help authors out, and we have a lot of people that schedule promos with us month
Yeah.
after month after month, right? And so we have really loyal, really fantastic customers. And these customers would come to us and say, "Hey, I spend a lot of money with you. Can I get a discount?" And that made a lot of sense to us. And so membership was born. And so we
Right.
have two levels. We have the gold membership, which is $125 a year, and we have platinum, which is $250 a year.
Right.
And the primary draw for membership is you get a 10% discount on all of the promos you book with Written Word Media. And if you book a promo stack, it's a 10% discount on the whole stack, even with our promo partners. So you get 10% off your e-reader IQ promo included in the stack as well.
Wow.
So that's another benefit. And the discount is capped at roughly double your annual membership fee. So for gold members, you pay us $125 a year, and you can save up to $200 per year with your 10% discount. For platinum, it's $250 a year, and you can save up to $500 a year. So you can save double your membership fee.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's been a really fun thing. So a lot of our top customers are signing up and promoting more with us, and they're able to save money and better kind of understand and deepen the relationship with us. And then because of membership, we're able to better predict what our revenue is going to look like in the coming months, and
Right.
that's enabled us to really invest a lot more in technology and audience building because we're more confident in where our business will be. So
Yeah.
it's been great for Written Word Media and our members. And let's see. So there are a lot of other benefits you get in addition to the discount when you become a gold or platinum member. So one thing you mentioned is you do get 2 weeks advance access to promo dates. Yes. So some
Because
of
they
our
fill up
promos,
quickly, some of them. Yeah.
yes, they do indeed. So yeah, they're quite popular, and so it can be hard to get the date that you want. So if you're a gold or platinum member, you can schedule 2 weeks into the future further than other authors can. And so if
Yeah.
you're in a really competitive genre or you find yourself repeatedly being frustrated about the dates that are available to you, membership is a great way to save money and hopefully reduce the hassle of getting the dates that you want. We also give you access to exclusive discounts with industry partners. So places like Readsy, BookFunnel, we just added Author Helper Suite. Author Helper Suite has a hefty discount. I think they're giving our members 40% off the annual subscription.
Wow.
And so these are other tools that we've vetted and we know authors are using. And so hopefully by becoming a member, you're able to save on other services that you're using or will need to use to build your author business.
Wow.
And then we also we have exclusive products for members as well. So we have what we call a Limelight promo. And so typically in our email promos, your book is included in a list of books that go out to readers, right? And so there are other books in the email that you're technically competing with. With our Limelight promo, you are the only book featured in the email and the only author. And the email is actually specially sculpted to you as an author. We can put your branding on there, a link to your website even. And so that's a really exclusive promo that authors have been asking us for a long time. So that's something that's available to our gold and platinum members.
Wow. This is amazing. So when an author is taking advantage of promo stacking or any of that, you mentioned Amazon and you mentioned a couple other retailers like Apple and Kobo, but so the author can link to which websites for sending customers to.
Yeah. So of wide retailers, we have Apple, Google, Kobo, and Amazon, right? So those are the retailers we support right now. Oh, and Barnes and
Oh,
Noble. Yes.
Barnes and Noble. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think yeah, you are highly affiliated with Smashwords, I believe. So we can discuss about potentially getting
Yeah,
Smashwords on there as well. But
yeah.
those are the retailers we currently link to. But something we're definitely thinking about is kind of the rise of direct sales,
Yeah,
and
I was curious
how
about.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so right now we will run Facebook ads to a direct sales store,
Okay.
as long as we vet the store and are happy with kind of the quality there, right?
I
Um,
understand that from the books to read perspective. You have to vet it. You can't just let someone drop in any link to anywhere on the internet because guess what happens?
yes,
People will
yes,
drop in any
indeed.
link to anywhere on the internet.
It sure does happen. Yes. So yeah, so that's how we can support direct sales right now. But that's something that we're definitely thinking about how, other ways that we can support direct sales. One thing that we did last year, that's been a big hit so far. I think we launched this in October. It's called subscriber surge giveaways. And so this is different than our other products where we're trying to sell more books. Subscriber surge giveaways is a way for authors to add readers to their mailing list.
Yeah.
And so you can enter a giveaway, and your book is placed on a landing page, or the cover of your book is placed on a landing page with a bunch of other books in a similar genre. And then readers can enter for a chance to win your book, other authors' books, and then a higher ticket item like a Kindle. And then at the end of the giveaway, you get a CSV file, a spreadsheet of all the readers who signed up to join your email list. And then we pick a winner from all the readers. We buy a copy of your book. We send that and then the Kindle to the reader.
Yeah.
And so that's been a fun thing for authors, a good way for people to add readers to their mailing list. And then if you're running direct sales, you can immediately start contacting those readers and informing them about your direct store. So that's one way we're able to support the direct sales movement.
Yeah, I think I took advantage of that one in the fall of 2023 and thought,
Nice.
wow, this is a tried and true way to get new interested readers because they pick you from a list, right?
Yes.
It's not, they're looking and they're like, well, I would like this. So there's already that sort of interest that they have. So you're like, yay.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also give you the list at 2 points. So that the giveaways run 30 or 60 days, and we give you the list halfway through the giveaway, and
Yeah.
then everybody else who's joined at the end. And that enables authors to more quickly contact the readers while the
Yeah.
readers might still be aware of who the author is and why
Yeah.
they joined this email list.
And
So
oftentimes that sort of introduction to the newsletter may be some sort of special offer where they can go, oh, I can try something for free. And then I
yes.
really like the author. So,
Yes, that,
yeah.
that that is a great way to kind of keep people, because these people did sign up for a chance to win kind of a prize pack. And so if you're able to offer them something right away from you directly, that's a great way to keep them on your list. And
Yeah.
that goes, outside of subscriber surge giveaways specifically, just book marketing in general. If you have an email list, if you're able to reward readers right away with something, ideally a free novella or a free book, something like that, it's a great way to keep people engaged and build that relationship with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I recommend that kind of across the board with email marketing. Giving away something for free right at the start is a great way to keep people on your list and make sure that they're grateful to be kind of part of your world.
Oh, man, amazing. So, as if all of those things weren't enough, one of the other things that Written Word Media has been doing for a long time has been gathering information, intel, insights, advice, tips for authors on your blog, right?
Yes, yeah. So we have a robust blog with a lot of different information up there to help authors market their books, publish books. And probably one of our most popular things that we do every year is we do a survey of authors. And so in 2023, we surveyed over 2,000 authors, and authors are so generous with their time for this. The survey probably takes about 15 minutes to complete, so it's no joke. We have a lot of questions in there,
Yeah.
and we ask them
You
things like
said
how much they're
15 or 50?
15, 1 5.
1 5.
Yeah,
Okay, quarter of an
yeah.
hour. Okay, all right.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Significant. I think in marketing, typically you want to keep a survey between 2 to 3 minutes to complete. So every time I send it out, I'm like, I'm just so grateful for the author community and how invested they are in learning about each other, because
Yeah.
we couldn't do it without the authors. So yeah, we ask them all sorts of things like how much they're earning, how many books they've published, what genre they write in, if they have a website. This year we asked them how they feel about AI and different uses of AI. So yeah, we learn all sorts of cool stuff, and we publish that in a blog post on our website.
Right. What are some of the insights from the previous survey that you've done that are kind of like that stood out and you went, "Oh, wow, that's interesting."
Yeah, yeah. Well, something that's changed over the years, we've been doing these surveys. It's 2018, I want to say, my first year at Written Word Media. Wow. And so one thing that's changed over the years is how many authors are using professional editors and professional cover designers. We've seen that percentage climb year after year after year. So I think this year, 60% of authors surveyed said they were using a professional editor. And back when we started, that was much closer to 35%.
Wow. And
Yeah.
there's got to be a correlation between the editors and how much they're earning.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely, the more you earn, the more likely you are to use a professional editor, to use a professional cover designer. But we've
Yeah.
seen this growth kind of across cohorts.
Yeah.
So, even authors that are less established or are earning less, are finding ways to work with professionals to help enhance their work. And I think that's a great thing, because that's how you set yourself up for success as an author, right?
Yeah.
We do a lot of marketing of books, and we do our best to sell books, but it's really hard to outmarket a bad cover. And then if you have a lot of errors in your book, then those bad reviews might come in, and then that book gets way more difficult to market.
Yeah.
So authors are really, they seem to understand more than ever the importance of setting the book up with a really quality cover, quality product, and then kind of everything else you do after that will just work so much better.
Wow. Wow. That is fascinating. I always look forward to those trend reports that you do, the surveys where you can, because there always is something that you've noticed. Yeah. So the pattern is authors, or not that they're taking it more seriously, but they're really understanding, even if they're beginning and they haven't made a lot of money, that they start investing earlier in
Yeah.
themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. They're really starting to understand the importance of making sure that the quality of the product is really high. And another thing this year that really caught my eye was the AI question, right? So this was the
Yeah.
first year in 2023 that we asked authors about AI, because frankly we weren't super aware of it. I don't think many people were until the end of 2022, right?
Yeah.
And so, one question we asked, would the author ever use AI to write the actual text in their book? So taking text written by AI and putting it in a published book.
Yeah.
And so we asked this question. Authors were responding to this, most of them in September 2023.
Okay.
So it's been a little bit, but 87% said they would not do that. So kind of an overwhelming majority said they were
Right.
not interested in using text generated by AI in their work. Another question we asked was, would you ever use AI to help create marketing assets? So writing copy for
Yeah.
ads, right? Creating images. And 47% said they would. So much more
Okay.
open to using AI when it comes to helping with marketing, something that I'm assuming authors enjoy way less than actually writing the books.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, isn't that what machines were supposed to help us with? Is the menial tasks that we don't like doing, as opposed to the stuff? Because I mean, I like writing. I
right,
enjoy that process. Now, it's not to say, I'm not saying that in judgment, because there are people who can leverage the tools and they're just writing with a different tool, the way I write with a keyboard and my friend Kevin Anderson writes by dictating. They're just
right.
different tools that you use for your writing.
Yes.
Is me consulting a thesaurus, is that cheating? Is that not writing because I can't find the right word myself, so I need help getting it? So that being said, there's value in the time spent in something. Whereas marketing copy, oh God, most authors hate marketing, or they're scared of it, they're intimidated by
Yeah,
it. So we use a company like Written Word Media to help us with our marketing. We leverage technology for the marketing copy potentially because
yeah.
it's drawn upon those, maybe the tropes that work.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of those things that AI has proven to be pretty good at is writing marketing copy if you get the right prompts in there. And
Yeah.
then of course there's other things, you could feed sections of your book in and then ask for it to write a summary of your book, write a blurb for your book, things like that.
Oh yeah,
But
outlining and summaries. If traditional publishing, right? Oh no, I need a
yeah,
30-page outline of your novel. But
yeah,
but I wrote the whole thing.
exactly. I rather
Yeah,
pull all my teeth out. So yeah, so
yeah.
AI can help with things like that. So yeah, I think that's the AI questions will be fascinating to watch, and of course we'll ask them again this year and kind of see if or where things shift to there.
My speculation, and I know it's not the time of year because I missed the deadline this last year. My speculation about that is going to be very similar to the speculation that traditional publishers used to have about ebooks, not
Mm,
considering them real books. Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a similar mindset,
yeah,
right? Yeah, yeah. The kind of the concern of the new. So yeah, it's a big
yeah.
thing in the industry right now. So it'll be fascinating to watch where it goes.
Yeah, but the consistent thing in the industry over the years, over the decades, centuries, etc., is the fear of the unknown. And I
Yep.
think that's where a lot of the concern and anxiety is. So, in terms of some of the other trends, are there any other trends that kind of jumped out at you in the most recent survey?
Yeah, I think the use of AI was big. I think something that Ricardo Fayette from Reedsy brought up was the maturing or potential maturity of TikTok as a social media platform.
Okay.
So Book Talk, TikTok has been very buzzy in the author community.
Yeah.
A lot of authors have sold a lot of books on the platform. It's been a rejuvenation in print sales from TikTok as well. But TikTok is a very young social network, right? Now, if we think back to the start of Facebook and Instagram, things were really different early on. Do you remember when you used to have a company page on Facebook and you could post from your company and people would see it?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it was a wild time. No longer, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of followers on various platforms, and the organic reach on these platforms is just way down because Meta would much prefer that you pay to reach the people on the platform.
Yeah. The people that
And
you painstakingly built carefully and curated over years and years.
yes, yeah, yeah, they would prefer that you pay for the right to reach these people who already express interest in you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hence
so
the
that's
value of a newsletter.
exactly, yes. Email lists. Never too early to
Yeah.
start building your email list.
Yeah.
Yes. So, something that is probably going to happen with TikTok in the coming years is that it's going to mature and TikTok is going to follow
Yeah.
this model of paid reach. And that's the best way for the company to grow their revenue. It's probably not the best thing for all of us in terms of our marketing budgets.
Yeah.
But that's something that could happen. So if you're an author that is extremely reliant on TikTok, or any other single platform for that matter, it's really important that you start to think about diversifying because the thing about
Right.
these big platforms is they can change like that. And then you might be out of luck, right? You can't take your TikTok subscribers and email them. You have to get them to give you their email addresses, right? So
Yeah.
starting to build that email list, I think it is so critical. It's never too early to start too.
Yeah, exactly. And enemy can never be too big or too small because even the handful of people that you may have in your list are probably way more valuable for the ability for you to reach them rather than not know who they are.
Absolutely, absolutely. The people on your email list, those are the people that are most likely to stick with you. Those are the people that can develop into super fans and tell their friends about you. And then, of course, maybe even help you publish books, right? They can become ARC readers. So yeah,
Yeah.
the email list, that's my number one advice to every author. Get an email list and
Yeah.
start building it. It's never too early.
Yeah, be in control of that. So, in terms of getting a deal, like with Bargain Booksy or one of the various platforms, what are some of the tips that you would offer to authors in order to ensure that the book is attractive enough to be accepted for the promo? And then, sort of, second half of that question is how to maximize once I've been approved and I'm locked in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of getting accepted for promos, we try not to have many editorial criteria like that, like a number of reviews, just because we found that authors were constantly having this chicken or the egg thing where they needed to have a certain number of reviews in order to be accepted for a promo. But you can't get reviews until people buy your book, right? So it's a very challenging thing. So we have a lot of authors, newer authors coming to us and saying, well, I need 10 reviews, but how am I going to get 10 reviews if I can't market my book? So we try to have fewer review criteria.
Okay.
So we do accept most books that are brought to us. One thing our team does do is they review the book, they review the cover and the description, and they may make a tweak to the description on our end to make it more attractive to our readership. Of course, making sure it's still accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if we think your book would do better in a different genre or targeted to different readers, we always reach out and contact the author and say, hey, you scheduled this for a thriller promotion. We think this might do slightly better in mystery, something like that.
Yeah.
And so that way we're able to make sure the author gets as good results as possible. So yeah, as far as getting approved, most people are going to get approved. If you're not sure and you're curious about your book, I always say email us. You can email us at info@writtenwordmedia.com. We also have a contact form on our website. Our team is super friendly. They actually won an award for customer service last year. So never hesitate to reach out to us. You don't have to be a customer. You don't even have to be asking questions about written word media. You can ask vague questions about book marketing, and we will do our absolute best to help you.
I love
so
that.
yeah, absolutely. We're more than happy to help authors out. And then after you have your promo scheduled, kind of the things we were talking about earlier in terms of the packaging and then the content of the book and making sure your back matter is optimized. Those are the ways to make sure your promo helps you as much as possible. So, high quality cover, a cover that fits in with your genre. So readers of your genre kind of recognize the vibe of the cover and say, hey, this is something that I would like to read. That's really important. And then, of course, a blurb that convinces readers once they're on the book page, right? The cover catches their attention. They click on the cover. They end up on your book page on a retailer. And then that blurb is what's going to convince them to click buy. So including comparisons to popular novels, maybe listing tropes that are in your book, giving a little bit of dialogue or a cliffhanger, something to really pique the reader's interest. That is going to be what drives them to actually buy or download the book. And then, of course, before you run any promo, I really recommend having some asks or calls to action, CTAs, in the back matter of your book, or even on the last page of your book while there's still actual text on the book.
Yeah.
So if you have an email list, this is a great place to ask readers to join your email list. If you have other books, it's a great place to ask them to go purchase your other books or leave a review, anything like that. And that having that in your back matter is so critical. It's a really easy thing to do. And then every reader who finishes your book, enjoyed the book, they're going to be much more likely to go out and do something else to help you. So make it as easy as possible for readers to follow you and kind of be part of your world there.
Awesome. Well, thank you for some great advice. Thank you for this amazing platform, Written Word Media. Clayton, can you please let my listeners know where they can find Written Word Media online?
Yeah, absolutely. So writtenwordmedia.com is the place to go. That's where you can find all of our promos. We've got a lot of great blog posts like the survey and our trends for 2024. And of course, the contact form is there as well. So writtenwordmedia.com is the place to go for all your book marketing needs.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Clayton.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, so just a few things that I want to reflect on. And the first is the membership opportunities and the growth that Written Word Media has seen. Now, I remember when they were just basically Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, and then Red Feather Romance was new. They just added that. And I love the way this company has iterated and grown over time. They've responded to the community, the author community, and built in things that the community has wanted. And along the way, they've made it so much easier for promotions and booking multiple promotions. But here's the reflection and the learning that I did. So I had gotten the first book in my series, A Canadian Werewolf in New York. I submitted to a Kobo promo for Canada Day. And so basically from June 28th, June 29th, July 1st, which is Canada Day, and July 2nd, so that 4 days of the sort of the weekend, Friday through Monday, they're promoting it in, I guess, Canada and the US, etc. I dropped it to 99 cents, and I thought, okay, what am I going to do to support this? So when I went to Written Word Media and I logged onto the dashboard, I had not gone early enough. And I talked about this prior to the interview about planning ahead. And I realized that as indie authors are getting more and more professional and planning ahead, particularly membership people who get access 2 weeks ahead of everyone else, I was late. And so I didn't get my bargain booksy. So I got Fantasy Deal of the Day, and that's coming out July 11th. Now, I decided to make the first book in my Canadian Werewolf series 99 cents for the entire month of July and see what I could do to just double down on the promos on it. It's part of a longer strategy. I am planning on raising the price of the entire series. $4.99 US has been my base price for full-length books for 5, 6, 7 years or more. And while prices on print have gone up, obviously it's the price of cost of production and stuff. That's just meaning that that the ebooks seems a lot cheaper and cheaper. And even at $5, it's still a steal. So walking my prices up. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do price promos. But anyways, I thought, okay, just before this, I just sent out an email newsletter to my readers saying, hey, if you haven't read it yet, Canadian Werewolf in New York is going to be 99 cents for the entire month of July at all the major retailers. And then the price of that and all the other books are going to be going up $1 or $2. So if you want to get them now, you go ahead and grab them now while you can get them at a discount. I mean, heck, you can get them from the library for free at any time. Please ask at your local library. But anyways, I just wanted to warn my readers, give them some advance. I'm also going to be doing a similar thing with my nonfiction books for writers. They're going to be going up a little bit more as well. I'm even looking at some minor revisions and tweaks and stuff. I've been posting a lot of stuff like at markleslie.ca/wide for the win. So I've been posting a lot of updates to the various platforms and businesses, but it's kind of like, okay, maybe it's time for an updated edition where I just capture some of that updated information. Anyways, back to the promotion, back to Written Word Media. So I was late. So I got a bargain booksy Fantasy Deal of the Day for the 11th. And then I got for the 22nd of July an e-reader IQ book through my dashboard. But I realized I was too late. And so I was falling prey to not listening to my own advice and planning ahead. What I really should be doing now that we're getting on July, I should be looking at promotions towards the end of August towards September. And I should be planning them that far in advance. And that's a learning. So it's kind of funny as I, listening back to this interview I did with Clayton, I, went into my dashboard and was monkeying around, and I looked at it, and after listening to it, I realized I had never run one of the Facebook. I'm really good at giving Facebook my money. I suck at Facebook ads. I suck. So I thought, okay, I'm going to book one of their Facebook ads. So I booked let me go over to make sure I get the name right. I ended up booking a Reader Reach Facebook ad for Fantasy Paranormal, a 5-day ad. Now, I just applied for it. It is pending review, and that's supposed to be for July 1st. So I figured if it's going to be featured and promoted at Kobo, I want to do everything I can to get the word out about this. Oh, I've also purchased a BookBub ad, and I'm looking at potentially during sort of the beginning of the month, maybe prior to the 11th when the bargain booksy goes out and will do a really good job. I may look at also running some an Amazon ad just to see if I can double down. Because again, I've got 7 books in the series, and I'd love to get a new group of readers through there. So I'll keep you all updated in my personal updates. But that's just some of the things I was reflecting on after listening to my conversation with Clayton. How about you? What were you reflecting on? What were some of the things that stuck out in that conversation? Strategies, tips, ideas that you got? Love to hear from you. You can email them over to me, mark@markleslie.ca. Leave the comments over at starkreflections.ca. You can tag me in the various social medias. I do love hearing what you're thinking and what you're reflecting on as you're listening to these episodes. But as I said, that is it for me. That is it for this episode. And so, until next week and until next episode, this is Mark Leslie Lefebvre wishing you, dear listener, great writing and good Stark Reflections.
Thank you for listening to the Stark Reflections podcast. You can find show notes for each episode at starkreflections.ca.
The The music for this podcast, Laser Groove, was composed and produced by Kevin MacLeod. Check out more of Kevin's great music at incomptech.com.